Got it.
Welcome, guys, to the 24th episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast for July 28th. Here with return special guests, Justin and Jarrett from the SilvermaniaShow.
It's us.
It's
Yay.
you guys.
It's me.
It's us.
What was that smile?
What?
Do it again. Good.
What? His
Horrible.
smile or my smile?
No, it's Justin's smile.
Thank you for inviting us, Ryan.
The time, that'd be fantastic.
It's great to have you guys back because even though last time I didn't prepare any good topics at all, and I would say it was probably our worst episode of the podcast ever, except for maybe a couple weeks ago when nothing happened and basically the exact same thing happened. We're like, how do we fill out half an hour? But basically I fucked up last time. I'll admit that, because there was like nothing good topic-wise out of that.
It's okay,
yet,
we're really good at podcasts.
your
so it'll be
fans only left positive, nice feedback, which is all sorts of fucked up.
But speaking of positive, we've heard about your positive HIV test.
Ho ho ho, you're
And-
hilarious.
I'm glad you shaved your head in anticipation for the chemotherapy you'll need. Which
That
is
doesn't make
AIDS,
any sense.
AIDS, cancer, same thing.
I've said it before.
Is
we
it
have a very, very nice
hypergonorrhea cancer AIDS?
Mm-hmm.
I have hypergonorrhea
Syphilis.
cancer AIDS. I'm dead.
You have tuberculosis.
tuberculosis, yeah.
I heard that you guys have a terrible case of tuberculosis. I heard you caught it on another podcast.
We are no longer allowed to speak of such matters in a public forum.
Apparently not.
Okay then, fair
We are
enough.
supremely stupid.
Yes, that's what they said. This is fantastic.
It's okay. No one watches this show anyways.
Valid.
No one, you know,
It's barely public if no one watches it. It's like public urination. Is it really public if no one saw you do it?
Good point.
good point. Is it like if a bear shit in the woods or a tree fell in the woods kind of thing?
Exactly. That's
It's like
exactly what it's like.
It's like the Holocaust.
Yeah. No one was there. And we never have.
So,
Wow.
since you've been on the podcast, you guys did a few other podcasts. One of them was what was the comedy podcast that was actually particularly good?
The Plus Two Comedy
Plus
Podcast.
Two comedy podcast.
Wow, you listened to that?
Yeah, I listened to it. I found it reasonably entertaining. I played it in the background when I was playing probably Civ. I don't
It
know.
probably would have been a lot better if you actually if there was
Were
actual
there.
video to it. There was some
Yeah,
funny.
because there was a lot of it that sounded like it required audience participation and other things. So the lack
we-
of a camera kind of like,
Yeah.
I think we've done that. We did the
Too many
TGS
games.
podcast, RIP, and RBI, and we did the Manly Gamer podcast, and then we did some shitty one called the Crapper Dapper Double Penetration
Okay.
Podcast.
Justin,
This
you
one.
should be a lot nicer to the hosts. This is a
Oh.
professional podcast.
Oh shit! I'm sorry, guys.
we do this for a living of, I don't know, I make like $1.50 a month in ads. So like, what's that, like
Wait, we're getting paid to do this?
almost?
Dude,
So
$12.
So, like, every 10 years, I'll make enough money for Google to send me a check.
I do like how it's you have to pay $5 for a subscription to listen to the TGS podcast, like to be like a supreme member to comment and stuff like
Wait,
that.
that
Yeah.
Yeah, if you, like, watch it live, then you have to pay
Oh.
$5 a month to Total Biscuit to, like, chat.
Nobody sees what a scam that is? Like, I don't know. Sorry, we can't talk about it.
No, it's okay. We don't need to talk about that. But then you guys did too many games. We're finally getting the roast this week.
Uh-huh.
Friday.
We should be getting the roast on Friday. Jared's still working on the opening titles. I'm finishing up the credits and the audio, and then we're gonna slap it together, upload it to YouTube, to the channel, let James watch it like privately, make sure he is 100% cool with it, make sure he's down, and then we'll post it on Friday. Hopefully, it's YouTube Geek Week. I'm not sure what that means, so hopefully that doesn't interfere with people posting the video, but I think this will be more timeless and classic anyway.
Well,
so
the whole thing of what I was telling you before, I think Geek Week is more It's more science stuff. It's not like Geek Week, like we're gonna play video games kind of stuff. I think it's like actual like scientific stuff, which I could actually respect.
They're gonna
more.
put video games in it anyways. I mean, YouTube Comedy Week had video games in it.
Yeah, but there was also no comedy.
That true. Bleh, true.
Yes.
Too. Reggie Watts did a set, but it wasn't very good, sadly. And I like Reggie Watts. I find Reggie Watts entertaining.
Reggie who?
Reggie Watts.
Reggie what?
He beatboxes and raps about fuck and shit and stacks.
Is he a black dude?
That would make sense. Yes. So, you guys did too many games. You did. Oh, what else?
That's it. I mean, after too many games, we just kind of hibernated and have been just working on the roast and getting our apartment set up. And, me and Jared are both working jobs 9 to 5, so we haven't had a lot of time to bullshit, really. I mean, we have like 5 or 6 episodes in the can that we can edit at any time for Silvermania, but we're trying to get the roast out first so we can try and garner new fans and views and shit before we waste our time yet again.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can you wait for just a second? Jarrett, I think you've mysteriously gotten quieter.
Have I?
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm good. Am I not good?
Just move your mic up like just a little bit.
Well, I don't have a mic. It's like connected to my computer.
I think he moved his body.
Auto. I moved my body around. Hold on.
No, you're okay now that you moved a little bit closer. Maybe you could still be like move it up a little bit more in Skype or something. I don't know.
Okay, it should just auto do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Am I good?
Yeah, we'll say that's good enough. Worst case scenario, I just like compress the shit out of it until there's no way that we're different. But didn't I read a post that you guys were possibly thinking about doing a con out in the woods?
Oh,
or is that bullshit?
No.
Well, no. We wanted to set up the Silvermania Gaming Convention, or SGC for short.
SGC. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Pretty much there's a camp that Jared's working at right now, and that's where we shot the actual Ren Fair, the E3 Ren Fair video, because they have the New Jersey Renaissance Fair there too. It's like campgrounds. And we're thinking about, we haven't talked to the owner yet, but doing an actual gaming con. Just make it one day, like a Saturday in like September, October, something like that. And just kind of make it like a fun day to hang out, like pretty much like an outdoor convention festival thing. There's like an amphitheater. There's a huge lit pavilion for like a swap meet style thing. And just make it kind of off the cuff and kind of fun. And we know so many people from Too Many Games and people in the local area that would probably come out to that just for the hell of it. Charge really cheap for tickets, maybe like $10 or something, and no table fee or anything like that. You just pay and bring your stuff in.
It's just a reason to get everybody out and kind of do whatever.
And just have it kind of pay for itself. He'll have food there and drinks and all that stuff.
It's like making money or anything. It'll just be a fun do.
And and if it's outside, you'll have less of that con stink. So that's the point. But we're still tinkering with that idea. I was trying to do a Pokemon convention, but another con
stole your idea.
I wouldn't say steal. They did it first.
Stole it.
And then just running too many conventions. We're finally getting set up to figure out what's going on next year and where it's going to be and stuff. And that's pretty much it. In a couple weeks, we'll probably be at Otakon. I'm not sure if Jarrett's going yet. I still got to figure out room and cost and shit like that. And I think that's our convention schedule because Otakon kind of runs it out until I think NekuCon, which is in
NekuCon's my favorite.
November. So yeah, whatever.
I'm sorry, Jarrett. You're still kind of quiet. You're gonna have to turn your mic up in the software, whatever software you're using.
Jarrett, I think it's because you say little tiny things every now and again, so it doesn't automatically raise your voice.
Yeah, when you're talking for like a longer period of time, it brings you up like halfway through.
But it can't. The thing is that I can't like not auto.
That's perfect.
Oh, okay. I didn't do anything.
Really?
You can't auto it. In
I
the
can
options?
auto it. It just doesn't. It just doesn't like catch up with me. Like,
You don't want to leave it on auto. You want to turn that off and then just move it up
okay,
if you can.
if you say so.
This is a problem we've had with the podcast before. The auto volume in Skype is terrible.
No. Am I good now?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it
Thanks.
should stay there.
This is good.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's the best. Great job, Jared.
Thanks. All right.
So,
Cool.
I guess that's everything that you've been doing recently.
Yeah.
I know you guys stopped doing the weekly schedule. Weekly schedules are fucking terrible, by the way.
Yeah.
They're retarded, but
Yeah.
the
We're not
internet's an
like-
asshole.
We can't just whip things out whenever we can. I don't know. It's tough. So we're just kind of gonna say, we'll bring something out when we want to, and we promise it to be semi-decent. So
Yeah, I guess the goal is just not to release shitty filler content anymore, even if sometimes we skip 2 weeks or a month, like kind of with the roast. I mean, we released that JonTron episode a couple weeks ago, but that was basically a filler thing. We just kind of slapped it together. But the roast is like an hour and a half long, so that should make up for it. Give me a minute.
Okay, so Jared just dropped, but I guess let's move into our first real discussion topic.
Yes, sir.
So, San Diego Comic-Con was about 2 weeks ago, and there was a panel that I found sort of interesting, if not for its content, but rather its, like, really stupid idea. Apparently we're moving into a golden age of video game movies. Oh, that sounded nice.
The hell is that? The end of the world?
hello.
Oh,
my
Jesus,
God.
that's loud. That's much louder than
here?
it was before.
Jared, you're ruining the podcast.
Oh my God.
It was
You already ruined the other one. See me? Now
not yet.
you're like rubbing your eye and you're frozen in pixels, like something awful happened, like you're
I can't-
crying.
Well, I was trying to talk to you, but I guess you were too busy having your headphones on to fucking listen to me. So that's cool.
Sorry, I'm in a podcast. Very important.
Yeah, I see. In a professional podcast, yes.
Fantastic.
Wait, I'm getting invited again. Wait, hold on. I can't see any of you,
We can't see you.
but my video's on, and
I think you have to restart Skype to fix that. That's what happened to me.
Great. So,
Golden age of video game movies.
golden age of video game movies, because... Oh, hi, Jarrett. We can see you again.
oh, you can. Now I
Yes.
can't see any of you.
It's okay. I can see you, and that's all that really matters.
Cool. Oh, wait,
So-
here I am. Okay, so what were we talking about without me? That's
So
really
at
nice
San
of you
Diego
guys.
Comic-Con, which was last weekend, I believe, or
Mhm.
possibly the weekend before, there was a few panels about video game movies and how we're moving into, like, the golden age of video game movies. Because, yeah, exactly. Because we have amazing video game movies coming up, like Deus Ex, Ratchet and Clank, which for some reason the head writer for the actual series decided to quit the studio that makes the game to write the movie. And we have Need for Speed. Who's not excited for that movie?
Is it Fast and Furious? Like, what's the difference?
I don't know. It's called Need for Speed. There's cops chasing cars that drive
Shoots and
fast.
ladders,
It's pretty original. That's what.
Arnold Palmer golf. You got-
One time
You got-
I went to
the Primal
Narco-
Rage movie.
One time I went to Narcotics Anonymous because I had a need for speed. Like the drug.
Oh, you can just stop.
Good, right?
I want to see a
Um,
Narc movie. Wait, didn't Narc happen?
Narc? Yeah, but I don't think it was based on the game Narc. I think it was just like based on the drug cop thing.
Remember the Sonic movie? Yeah, that was awful.
Aw,
What?
dude, don't rag on the Sonic movie. Come on, I stayed up all night to see that thing get uploaded so that I could watch it with people on V.
And how'd it
And-
go?
It was fun, but the movie was awful.
Way past cool.
Don't make fun of my friends, Eddie LeBron and
I'm not their
James.
friend, so I can say whatever I want.
I do think they spent a little too much time putting celebrities in there. And this is all the stuff, like, we're at
There's
MagFest.
definitely good parts. I can definitely see the passion was there, but
I think the biggest issue with it is that Sonic doesn't convert to 3D, let alone realistic 3D, like, well at all. So it just looked really fucking weird.
I thought it'd be cool to have, not put it in our world, have it in Mobius or wherever, or just Christmas Island or whatever. And you know how at the end where he runs over the hoop and they do the whole thing?
Yeah.
If the whole movie looked like that, like just him in CG world, and maybe if you wanted to have a live action Robotnik, like, just as a character and you never have them interact with each other, just like through video screens and stuff, I thought that might be cool. But, yeah, like, it was a good attempt.
It just felt like a student film, and I don't know. It just felt like, I don't know. I feel like I could have done it. I mean, as bad as that sounds, like, I mean, you just spent too much time getting, like, famous people to push it, and famous. And I think more work in certain areas were definitely needed.
Well, I think it comes down to that most video game movies don't work, and if they do work, the
Just
things
like
are so different from the original source material that. Need for Speed, there's not much there, so I guess they could do it. What were some of the other ones you said?
EA wrote their own script for it, or bought a script that they then pitched the movie with.
I mean, Ratchet and Clank lends itself. Is it going to be a cartoon or live action?
I think it's all animated.
Well, that'll work.
So it'll actually work.
Yeah.
It would be so fucking weird if it was live action.
And what was the first one you said?
There's a Deus Ex movie.
They say.
Yeah, the Deus
And
Ex.
it's based on Adam Jensen. Now, the biggest issue that I see with the Deus Ex movie, though, is that Deus Ex has you make, like, moral choices in the game.
Yeah.
Moral choices. So
Well,
it's just like, what do you, like, choose as canon?
No, what happened is you go to the theater. There's 12 theaters. You go into the first theater. There comes a thing. Are you going to go to theater 2 or theater 3? And it's kind of like choose your own adventure.
There was a movie that was it was one of the Final Destination movies where you got to vote on the deaths.
On the DVD? That's cute.
No, not on the DVD, in the theater.
Oh. Ew, how
cool.
would that happen?
Everyone had like a clicker and they voted A or B. Like, do you let this person live or do you let them die? And then like you would have to vote. So it was like instead of choose your own adventure, it's like choose your own death.
I wish they did that in the justice system. Like if you were a juror, like death. Fucking Judge Dredd. That's true. So, I saw. I saw some of the stuff for the Deus Ex movie, and I actually, as soon as I found out who the director was, I found him on fucking Facebook because he's not that big of a guy, and I sent him a message, and I said, "Dude, listen, please don't fuck this up. I love Deus Ex, and the new game was so, it was so
just okay."
It was okay.
It wasn't like it was a good. Okay, the game was good, but it was nothing like the actual Deus Ex games.
The world, well, 2 sucks, but the first one, like the world.
But 2
was
doesn't suck because of 2 sucks because of console
Magic.
Limitations and magic.
Magic. It's magic.
Well, no, one of the biggest issues with that game though is like, let's go to the Seattle airport, and it's the size of the room I'm sitting in right now, and it's like, this is the Seattle International
That's
Airport
how
in the
big
year
the
like
Seattle
2050
International
or whatever. It's like, what the fuck?
They well, air travel isn't that big in 2050. The problem is, aside from like, because Deus Ex 1 takes place in 2040 something, I think, and the new one takes place in like 2020 something like that.
Yeah,
and
it's a prequel.
Between this time and Deus Ex Human Revolution, it doesn't seem like that big of a technology gap. Like, it just seems like we won't have that technology in 2020. And in Deus Ex, the first one, it did seem that way. Like, oh yeah, by the time 2053 or whatever comes up, we're gonna have these like kind of cool kind of things. But so what I'm saying is, Human Revolution seemed more advanced than the first Deus Ex game.
Yeah,
so
I don't
like,
remember fucking retractable blade arms coming out of people and.
But you could say the same thing about, like, you know, like, as dumb as they are, like the Star Wars movies and stuff like that. I mean, everything suffers from that. All people suffer from that.
Yeah, but when you put on
that stuff.
But like the second.
Well, what I'm saying is that's why I don't like that stuff. For example, Star Trek did that when they did like Enterprise or something like that, where you're like, everything looks way nicer than the original series, which takes place after this.
I mean, what do you expect?
Well, even Prometheus did that too, where everything looked.
Yeah, of course they did.
I don't know. I just don't. My whole thing is just don't do fucking prequels.
Well, Prometheus was good.
I know. Well, it could have been. I think it could have been its own intellectual property.
Well, I also think that Deus Ex suffers to like a greater extent because Deus Ex is set in our own world on an actual timeline. So it's like, if in fucking 7 years we don't have this shit, then the game doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and just like the technology again, like you see Herman Goering, who is like a cyborg, like, you know, more, you know, we're like, frickin' JC Denton is more like biologically enhanced, you know, like less servos and actuators and motor parts, but the older units are. Yeah. Whereas in Human Revolution, they seem more like Denton than they do like the cyborg guys, and you're like, all right, that's fine. But
or at least they're like servos and like actual mechanical parts that are put on them look more human-like. They don't look as bulky as they did in the original one, and so like the art direction kind of breaks the game in that sense.
The art direction in Deus Ex Human Revolution is great. This whole you know, modern Renaissance thing they did with the clothing and just how the building, just how everything looked was.
Yeah, but the actual mechanical parts, the specific art direction for like mechanical body part replacements, it doesn't seem right because it's all too sleek and like it's just not as clunky as it was in the original one.
Oh no, of course, but as I'm saying,
so
that's
like that specific chunk of the art direction is like very broken within the timeline.
It's broken in the timeline, but it looks good because I wanted this game. They should have just called it Human Revolution, made it its own intellectual property, and not had to worry about the other stuff. I'm just saying
they should have done that, but it wouldn't sell. That's what I keep saying.
No, I think it would have sold because no one remembers the old Deus Ex. It's over 13. It's 13 years old. When that game came out, it was 11 years old, and no one was clamoring over another Deus Ex game. They could have done it. They could have pushed it as its own thing called Human Revolution. Now, so anyway, I emailed or Facebooked the director of the project, and I said, please don't fuck this up. You're gonna fuck this up. I was very like rude. And I posted the IGN video, the extended cinematic trailer for Deus Ex Human Revolution. Definitely type that in the Google, like frickin' the extended Human Revolution trailer. It's so good. It's better than the entire game. It just feels like a movie trailer. They did so good for that. And, you know, with him like flying, the whole Renaissance picture, the Rembrandt stuff. And I don't know, like I can see it working as a movie, but I don't think they're going to get that kind of a budget to do it. Like you need at least $100 million to do that. You need a really good director. Everyone's very untested. I think it's going to come out looking like crap, just like their stupid iOS game we were talking about earlier, Jarrett.
We were.
Oh, that iOS game's so
I
fucking
can't wait
broken.
To play
I can't believe
the Deus game. Oh, you got an iPad? No.
I can't believe that they did that. We talked about that on the podcast at one point. It's like, how can you make a hard, like, it's a third-person shooter, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Like it, at least.
Like, from everything that I know, it's like an actual third-person shooter, and they're like, you know what's a really good idea? Put this on an iPhone.
Yeah.
It's like, you could have released that as like a $5 arcade title on whatever platform that had an actual controller, and people would have been like, this is okay. And the worst part about it is that they released a part of, like, actual canon storyline, like, real storyline continuation of Deus Ex Human Revolution on a fucking iPhone.
Well,
Who the fuck can buy that?
With the expansion, the missing link, they should have just done the exact same thing with this.
Yeah, the book. Or the graphic novel thing, but
don't they have a piece of DLC called Missing Link?
Yeah, the DLC.
Oh, that's where you're like traveling to Singapore or whatever, or like you're in the boat. Is that the part?
Yeah, I think you like get stripped of your powers mostly, and I think you like recover.
Of course.
I haven't played it yet, but
that's another thing about the game. I'm like, I mean, I don't want to dwell. All right, never mind. Jarrett's busy. There's just a lot of things broken with Human Revolution, like just the whole thing, from the love story that they never go into, you know, with the whole opening of the game.
That's annoying.
The awful tutorial, where I think the tutorial should have been a prequel to the game, where you're in that scene in the, I forgot what they call it, like Mexicoville or wherever you are, and they accidentally kill that kid, like they shoot the kid with the augments. That would have been a cool training exercise where you're in SWAT rather than you're crawling around the building that was attacked. I thought that was kind of lazy. It would have added better stuff later. Well, I don't know. I just thought they missed their mark. And the game was easier for me when I killed every single person in the game. I went through and killed every single NPC, every single bad guy, everything, and just walked around, and there was no consequences. Like, I killed people and got a message from Seraph, like, hey, could you stop that? But the game never said, you lose or whatever. I just kept killing everybody, and the game was honestly easier for
Yeah, because how dare you be able to kill, like, games don't even let you kill, like, required characters anymore and shit like that.
Oh, dude, I'm playing Skyrim right now.
You can't kill any of the NPCs that are required, but in Morrowind, you could murder everyone.
I'm playing it on the computer, so I have the mods. You can kill children and stuff, but it means you can the big dick mod. I have the nudity mods. I have Macho Man dragons.
Macho Man dragons. Are Macho Man dragons? Do they look like Trogdor? Is that the idea?
No, they look like
Macho Man.
Yeah.
They have the boots.
So they're Macho Man. They're not Macho Men dragons. Like, they don't look like dudes with big muscles. They're Macho Man. Okay.
Oh yeah. So it's Macho Man as a dragon.
Justin will be walking around in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden you hear snap into a Slim Jim, like in the distance. Like,
and you're like,
you're just like, what? Because instead of the roar, it's all Macho Man sound. It's so fantastic.
So, like, I know they did it on The Office, and I know it's like a big thing on Craigslist, where you know how you get a paper clip and you trade it for something else, and then you keep trading up until you have a house or something like that. That's what I do when I play Fallout or Skyrim or these RPGs. I forgot, like sandbox RPGs. So I find the first person, I kill them. I take their low level equipment. I go into the next person, I kill them. So now I have like all the best equipment in the game, and nothing can stop me. And I've killed so many NPCs and stuff that quest lines are completely broken. Like, honestly, I don't think I can play the main game. I can only play the TLC stuff, which I haven't unlocked yet.
No, you can probably do the main quest line because they don't let you kill main quest line characters.
Oh, I've been killing main quest line characters because I have the thing where I can
kill you have the mod so you can kill them?
So I'm going into the console, looking at dead bodies, hitting resurrect, please give me the quest, and going into like the scripts like SQS set stage 2015, please work. And like randomly it unlocks stuff, but you know, I've been to like 5 out of the 7 or 8 major cities, and every single person in those towns have been wiped out. And I shout people off cliffs, and it's a terrible day for everyone in Skyrim. But the game, like Fallout, kind of like if you wanted to be a total asshole, you could. Like in New Vegas, you could. There was a perk, an accomplishment for when you cannibalize the main characters in the game, like the people that like lead the country or whatever. But in Skyrim, which was made after New Vegas.
Well, they were made by different people though. New Vegas was Obsidian, I think.
Oh yeah. But they don't reward you or get upset when you kill everybody. Like they'll send a bounty hunter like you're bad. You can pay us 10,000 gold for killing 650 people.
Or you can just kill me.
Or you can just like kill everyone. And I'm like, all right, so now I'm just wandering the wasteland, which is what I call it now, just killing indiscriminately. And the game's lost its fun because now there's no end goal. There's no ending for me that's gonna say.
One of the things about Skyrim, though, that kind of makes it suck in comparison to Oblivion and definitely Morrowind, is that there's, like, no goal at all in the first place. The main storyline's super short, doesn't really matter. It's probably one of the worst storylines in the game. Like, the replacement for the Fighters Guild, I think they're called, like, the Friends or some shit.
Companions. They're all dead.
Companions. Yeah. And that's a better storyline than the main storyline, and it's the same length. Same thing with Dark Brotherhood and the Mages Guild and all that crap. And none of them ever have much depth. None of the mechanics in that game have any depth. There's nothing particularly interesting about it. It kind of holds your hand the whole way. It's like, you have a quest. Here's exactly where you need to go, and if you click on this marker, you don't even have to walk there.
They're dead.
But like in Morrowind, one of the things I really liked about it is like you just had a journal. So it's like when you picked up a quest, it's like you had to basically go and do it. If you just went and walked around and did a bunch more, then like it would get lost in the journal and you have no clue what to do. And you couldn't fast travel. You had to actually like figure out the like transit system of sorts between the boats and the like striders.
Man, that sounds like fun. Figuring out the subway system of fucking Morrowind.
It was fun. It was just a way.
I know what you like. I tried playing Morrowind a while ago, and the graphics weren't really up to par for me, and I was like, so I started killing everybody.
I know the game
doesn't-
seems so outdated though. In that game though, it doesn't protect you. You kill someone, and it's just like you can't complete the game anymore. Like a little notification pops up.
Oh yeah, it's like you have dishonored the fates, and like everything fucks up. Yeah, I hear you.
It's like you kill the main quest giver, like in the second town that you go to, and it's just like you can't complete the game anymore. You're fucked.
I know. Well, I think the problem with Skyrim and you know what you're talking about, how everything got easier and more, you know, everything got bigger but less at the same time.
It's way more accessible, and that's why it's popular.
It's like D&D, where D&D 3.5 was like, how do I play this? There's sheets, and like you need a dungeon master and all this. I mean, like you need people that know what they're doing and stuff. And then D&D 4.0 came out, and now you're like, it's like magic cards. You're like, I'm attacking with this.
Did you play that at some con and they were like, "Oh, it's so easy, anybody can do it."
And
like,
so that was D&D Next. That's the new one, and that one was so simple. It's like you're barely even playing, and like it's really hard to die. So it went from like realistic and well, not. You know,
It doesn't even make sense because doesn't 3.5 have like a starter kit that's fucking like $30 and it's like the easiest campaign just to teach you how to do it?
Yeah, I mean it does have tutorial stuff, but you know it went from something that was more adaptive and more you had to like think about
actually
things,
roleplay
so, like, here.
and fucking try to figure shit out. And
So what happened with D&D 4 is they made combat really easy. They're like, here's a card to hit him with the hammer. Go ahead, hit him. Here's your daily strike. Hit him. And then D&D Next, which is the newest edition, they made the role-playing stuff easier. So, like, how to barter and how to, like, go through the world. Like what do you see on the wall? Well, here's my ability to see that. You know, it just got really simple. And I
by
don't play
by making it accessible, you've removed the depth that made it good. Basically, like like by being more accessible, more people can play it casually, I guess, or enjoy it. But for the people who actually played it and enjoyed it, it's like you've gotten rid of everything that I liked.
Well,
because
that's why
like there's nothing to learn anymore. The game just tells you what to do.
Well, thankfully, that's why a lot of D&D people are still playing 3.5 because people are still making like books and stuff for it, like custom ones. And for Skyrim, there's also like the realism mod, and some 19-year-old kid made like a mod to the game that adds more DLC time, 25 hours, than the actual game developers did. So the fans are kind of bolstering the game.
Yeah, but they've always done that, even since Morrowind. I mean, someone built multiplayer into Morrowind.
That's true,
like,
but I'm
8
saying
years ago.
It's easier now that everyone's online and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And everyone's an animator or a computer programmer apparently.
It's the Justin and Ryan podcast.
All right, let's talk about something dumb so Jared can hop in.
Wow. Okay.
Well, we were talking about video game movies, and we never really finished with that. I think that we just started bitching about Skyrim because you said you were playing that.
Did you guys see Pacific Rim? Speaking
Yes,
of Rim.
that fucking
No.
movie was awesome.
Okay.
Do not spoil it.
Oh, you didn't see it?
Not yet.
There's no
Oh,
story.
it sucks.
I know.
Yeah,
There's no story.
it's-
How can you
it's-
spoil it? It's big robots
definitely-
fighting big monsters.
it's definitely a B movie, and we wish it was more. And you know, we kind of explained it. We were like ranting on Facebook that started a flame war.
Well, you did, but
I did. You know, there's just things about it that I wish were different. Like who is the main
I
character?
respect everyone else's opinions, and everyone gets really mad when I
No,
disagree
fuck
with
everyone else's opinions. They're wrong.
Can we
Okay.
clarify one thing though? Does this take anything from Evangelion at all? I've been
Okay,
told that a
so
thousand
here we go.
times.
Here we go.
No.
About Evangelion.
Now Jared can talk.
Great. Now I can talk. All right, Malt Disney over there. Nice
Malt. It's my malt whiskey
Malt
shirt.
whiskey shirt.
That's
Loser.
great.
It's my only pink shirt.
Only pink
I
shirt.
don't have any pink shirts. I have pink hats. This has a purple dog on it.
So
Look at
yes,
him.
they take things from Evangelion in it, but it's very there he is, everybody. Mew.
Okay, so Evangelion and Pacific Rim, go.
Okay, so originally, from what I understand, is that Pacific Rim started off as an Evangelion script. What's his name? Peter Jackson was going to do the Evangelion movie. There's a whole thing. There's all these planning for it. I have on one of my DVDs, Evangelion DVDs. There's all this like big interview with Peter Jackson and a bunch of guys, and they're like, yeah, Evangelion. You know, we haven't seen the whole show yet, but we're doing the movie. And I'm like, oh God, can we please not do that? And thank God it never happened.
Yeah.
So instead, from what I understand, is that it got transitioned into what Pacific Rim is today, which, thank God, that's what happened. Because after seeing Pacific Rim, you just can't make an Evangelion movie at all.
Yeah.
It would just never.
Beverage.
So, pretty much, what happened was, the movie's great. Like, it's a great thing to watch. Like it's a good movie. It's fun. Or whatever.
It was kind of like everything that I kind of wanted out of the movie.
Yeah,
because when's the last time that you saw a giant monster movie?
I think someone said it's the movie that we wanted to see, but it wasn't the movie. It was the movie that we needed. I don't know. It was something like that. But like it's like one of those like Batman quotes. Like so, it's the.
It wasn't the movie we wanted. It was the movie that we needed or deserved.
No, it was like
or
the
whatever.
opposite of that, though.
Oh.
Like we just don't need it yet, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, so if I'm even making any sense, but they did take a lot of things from Evangelion, like the whole syncing your brain to the machine thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not even syncing to the machine. It's syncing to another person.
Yeah, well, no, it's syncing to another person, which syncs to the robot. So it's like a whole entry plug system, like in Evangelion. I don't know how much of Evangelion you guys have seen.
I've watched all of it.
Yeah, I've watched the whole thing and seen
wow, good.
3 remakes.
Nice
And
to
the
know
end and all that.
Awesome. All right,
Yeah,
sweet.
it's pretty fucking good. Let's just
I want
say
to
that.
admit all of my rage. I haven't watched anime in like a really long time. So I downloaded all of the episodes of Evangelion, watched them, and I was like, now I'm going to download the movies. And I was like, turn on the first one, I was like, oh yeah, anime movies are just the TV show. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, way to waste 20 gigs of bandwidth.
Yeah, that's great. But yeah, no, like, I'm glad you guys have all seen it. Like, here's all my Evangelion stuff. There, all it is.
All, like, is that whole...
That's all
those shelves
Evangelion
in?
stuff. Yeah, we're just in it.
Shit.
I like your studio lighting.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh, they froze. Oh god,
Oh.
Jarrett.
No.
Oh my.
I can't tell if Justin's is still on either.
Yeah, because he's not in the room.
Because he's not in the room, and that fan...
They both just dropped. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man.
42
yeah,
minutes.
That's
Oh,
definitely...
coming back.
Oh,
I'm not going to have to edit it out then. Yes.
My God.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, I'm a huge Evangelion buff, so it's great that you guys are even talking about it. It's like my favorite thing ever. It's like the one thing that I really love. But no, and that's why I was really excited about to see this movie. But I also kind of ignored it at the same time because I was like, I know it's not gonna be everything that I want.
yeah.
Because I have such high expectations for
Well,
stuff.
I would say that it's not really like Evangelion at all, at least thematically. Because I mean, Evangelion is depressing as shit.
Yes, and this
Yeah.
is all like fun robot. If it's anything, it's more like the beginning, like some of the beginning parts of Evangelion. And it's more
Right.
like,
Learning the pilot and then kind of
yeah,
just
and like
the first couple
the-
angels.
I just wanted to see some more. I hated the main character. I don't want to give it away, but I mean, I hated the main character. He sucked. The main character should have been Miko. What was that?
Asian
What was
girl.
it? Asian. What was her name?
Doesn't matter. Asian girl.
All right. Jeez.
She barely has a name. She only becomes like a major character at the end when they just decide to let her be a character.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, the other
I thought
thing-
she was great. Like I liked her character. She like reminded me of Rey to a certain extent. Like I don't know. I mean, maybe it was just because she was like kind of quiet, but I don't know.
Why?
I wanted to see either. I don't know what I wanted, so that's why I have a hard time with the movie because I don't know what I would have done in that situation. So I guess I can't bash it too much because I don't even know what I want. But I think that either I should have taken the cheese factor all the way, like the whole thing where he punches through the. Sorry, but like there's a
I
part
don't
where
care.
the robot punches through the building and then it hits the little. What's the little? What are those things called? Little ball clicker things.
Like on an
On a
office
desk?
Yeah.
The office desk, and like
Oh,
the
like
thing
the
stops,
like the pendulum thingy. It's not a
Yeah, the
pendulum.
pendulum. yeah,
but-
but it hits that, and I'm like, that was cool, and I kind of wish there was more of that in it. And the whole thing with the sword, like that was cool. They're
Oh,
like,
dude,
"What else
all
do
of
we
my
have?"
rage. Because for
And
like fucking an hour and a half, they're like, you know how we kill monsters? We punch them and throw them in large bodies of water.
Yeah,
And for some reason, they just don't die. And like they're struggling with all like these smaller kaiju. And then at the end, they're like, oh, gee, we can't kill this one. I better just pull out my fucking
But-
sword.
but that was a classic like anime like style thing. and that's what I loved about it. And I was like, sweet, like, and all it did was say sword on like the little thing, and it was like, choose sword or whatever it said, and I was like, oh my god, I'm like, that was cool. Like, I love that.
I like when he burns a kaiju to death with his like nuclear reactor vent.
Yeah.
He's just like, "Rrrr."
That was cool. Yeah, there was definitely like the robot fights were awesome. I mean, I think a little bit of Transformers kind of stuff suffered. Like, I didn't really know what was going on, and there was like some parts where I didn't know what was going on. But it was awesome because there were monsters fighting robots, so you don't have that. You have that distinction between the two bodies that are fighting.
The nicest thing between the, like, at least in the fight scenes in comparison to Transformers, is that they didn't like zoom in on anything too stupidly much, like you see in like action movies, so you could actually see what the fuck was going on. It's not like, let's zoom up on this dude's fist and then just have a bunch of tiny pieces of metal.
My favorite battle was when the new, what was it, like the Mark something? What was like the new? It was like the newest model. It wasn't Mark.
The one with the Australians, right?
Yeah, the one with the Australians, and when the kaiju busts through the wall, but then it just comes out of nowhere. The robot comes out of nowhere and just beats the crap out of it. That was like the best. That was like one of my favorite parts of the movie. That I like snorted a little bit too. I was like really geeking out, I guess, a little bit, or whatever you want to call it. But I mean, the movie had its moments. As a whole, after it was over, and then the rap music started playing during the credits, I went, okay, like, I think I'm done here. Like it just.
Your mic just totally cut out. I don't know what you did, but it's gone. We can't hear you at all, Jarrett.
Jarrett, you died.
Talk.
Now we know.
We can hear you now.
Well, where did I stop?
You said the rap music came on, and then I was done with it, and then.
Well, right now we don't have your video anymore.
Hold on. I'm doing it well.
I will say, one of the pet peeves we had is all the white people look the same, all the white males. Like, we couldn't tell, like, the Australian versus the American guys were like, is that his brother? Who's that guy? It's like it's like racism. We're like, oh, Chinese people look the same. It's like all white people in this movie looked exactly the same.
They all look like Ryan Gosling type, like white males, and I was like, but that's like all movies now are kind of like that. I just feel like everyone looks the same. I don't know why my video is showing it. Can we postpone for 1 second?
Postpone what?
Well, I gotta try and restart the video here.
Okay.
Hi.
Oh, here we are. Yay! I can see you guys. Can you see me?
We can't see you.
No, your camera's not on.
Yay!
And now Justin's isn't on.
Art thou feeling it yet? All right, let's see.
Dynamic view. Normal view. Exit full screen.
Justin, why'd you turn your camera off?
I wanted to be popular.
Damn it.
Now I can't turn it back on.
Yeah, mine wasn't turning on. That's what you get.
Damn these.
So anyway, while I'm trying to figure this out, the whole thing was that, once the credits came up, and it was the crazy, like, visuals, and then there was the music, there was, like, rap music playing, and I just went, okay. And it just, like, left a bad taste in the back of my mouth, like, at the end. Like, I don't know. There's something about it that just left me unsure about how I felt about the movie. You know, I know I had a good time watching it. You know, I went out of there saying, wow, at least this wasn't Smurfs 2. And, you know, like, I mean, it's cool robots fighting cool aliens, I guess. And that was fun, but I don't know. There's definitely something about it, but I think it's because I just don't know what I want. So that's the end of my thing about this movie called Pacific Skyrim.
Hi.
Am I still here? Am I talking?
Yeah,
we can hear you. We just can't see you.
Oh, okay. Well, no one was
though.
saying anything, so I was like, all right, I guess.
Would it not have been amazing had you just dropped out and we just did like a whole thing?
Yeah, that's what I thought would have happened. All right.
I thought that the all the Hong Kong backstreet Ron Perlman stuff was way too reminiscent of Hellboy 2 style, like Del Toro, like
it
shady.
did look pretty much exactly like Hellboy 2, like when you went into the whatever the fuck it was in Hellboy 2.
And
I just see all these posts on Tumblr and stuff, and it's like, oh, thank God Ron Perlman was in this movie. He was the best character, and I was like, I don't know.
Ron Perlman was the worst character.
Yeah, you like kind of, it was like whatever, like I get it.
My friends are like, did you stay after the credits and see Ron Perlman? And I'm like, you mean after the stupid credits? Because I stayed after all the credits and nothing happened. Yeah. And they're like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, they started putting things like 20 seconds after the credits because everyone leaves the theater because no one cares about the names on the screen anymore, which is fucking sad. Yeah. Just as a movie buff guy, you know, reading all the people who were involved and stuff. Like 6,000
sequels coming out.
6,000 VFX editors. The other thing about the movie, what Newt was saying about Del Toro, our buddy Newt Wallen, is that he, like in Hellboy 2, all the monsters look totally different, but in this, all the kaiju were like the same Cloverfield style dude, which is kind of gay.
It really felt like Cloverfield was the thing.
All right, should we try and get all our videos back up, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure, we can do that. I'll just write down when this happened so that
I blame you.
Yes.
I'll be right back.
52
more
minutes.
work. That's what you sound.
We'll be back in a second here. Not that anyone who will be watching will see it. Cause I'll just edit it all out.
Hey.
Oh, you're talking about what's her name? Pepper Ann.
Pepper Ann. We used to joke around and say she looks like a man. We used to joke around.
Marching in her own parade.
Why do you know though? That's funny that we both know.
Disney. She is hot, her friends. Holy shit. She's like 1 in a million. Too cool for 7th grade.
We don't have any Disney Channel or Disney shows in Canada, or at least the part of Canada I live in.
Who is she?
It's like hell.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna grab a fucking freezy.
Freezy?
What's a freezy?
You guys, I'll show you. It'll be amazing.
It's probably called something normal in America.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing too.
Like soda.
Yeah, it's like a fizzy. That's a Coke, you dumbass.
Oh, here I am.
Oh,
whoa! Yay! I can't wait to get a freezy pop.
Mmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, bitch.
Oh, it's just like an ice pop.
I'm gonna beat that pussy up.
Oh, is that what you Americans call it? An ice pop?
What is that? Oh, it is. It's like those shitty things that they give people at my camp.
Auschwitz.
Yes, Auschwitz.
How do you not like freeze? Oh, God damn it!
Because in
it's
America,
flavored ice. It's delicious.
We have water ice.
We have.
You ever heard of water ice?
Gelato.
Water? No, I haven't heard of water ice. I've heard of ices, which are fucking terrible.
Have you heard of Italian ice?
Yes.
Oh, ices are Slurpees.
Yeah, that's what we call them here, but there's actually... No, they taste different. An icy has like this fucking milk product in it, and it's gross.
It's that motherfucking polar bear. That's the problem.
There's too much polar bear in ices.
I gotta get Bob McGran talking about how much he hates the icy polar bear. It's so good.
So...
Going back live.
I've recorded all of this, but we're all working, so...
Do it live!
I'm just gonna leave this in because I'm too lazy to actually edit. The way my editing works is I will only produce a video if I can cut the first 5 seconds off and the last 5 seconds. That's as much editing as I'm willing to do.
Our shit fans won't care, so whatever. Silver shitheads.
They were only nice last time, and last time was terrible. This time was actually fun. I've enjoyed the time that we spent so far.
So
well, fuck you.
Wow.
Whoa,
Hey,
whoa.
Did
I'm
you
your guest.
wait? Did you say you
Keep your
haven't
com-
enjoyed the time? I have a bad ear.
I said I haven't.
Oh, well,
I had
fuck
a
you.
bad year today. I'll tell you about my day today, or my couple days.
No,
So,
we don't want to hear about it anymore.
Yeah, is that on
Oh.
the topic list?
You
Jared,
want to know what happened?
Jared's
Friday,
earwax-
I found out that
Jared's earwax on the topic list, because that's a funny story. I couldn't hear out of my what is this, my left ear, for the
sure.
past couple days, and I had to wash it out because there was all this wax buildup. Because when you use a Q-tip, I guess they don't do it right, and you push the wax back instead of scooping it out.
I'm a little deaf in one ear from getting punched in the head too many times.
Yeah. Before we started, we were talking about your shaved head and your awful cancer treatment.
Oh, and then
And,
like me having
you said-
like all sorts of scars in my head
Yeah,
and
you
shit.
had scars on your head, and now me, I didn't grow up fighting people because I'm not an asshole. If you know.
Whoa! I don't just
Whoa,
fight
hold
random
on.
dudes. I fight other
No, no,
people
no.
who want to fight.
You fight homeless people like bum fights. Like the thing is, like, who gets punched, or like, I mean, who gets punched in the head without like a weapon being drawn to where now they have scars on their head?
Well,
You're like,
I have a
big
scar.
cushiony-
I have lots of scars in here because when someone throws a punch, you drop your head like this so that they punch you right here.
Yeah.
Because this is really hard, so they'll break their hand on it.
Dude,
Huh.
bears do that with bullets though.
Bears.
Yeah, actually,
Bears.
when you can't shoot a bear in the head basically because their like skull plate's so thick. But the part where you really can't hit them is right here because it's so thick that the bullet hits and like ricochets off.
Wait. So your first move in a fight is to be like the dinosaur in Lost World and just charge them like fuck you.
No.
Fuck.
Or the
No, but like you drop your head
Practice
when they go to
episode.
punch because that's what you fucking do. You keep it down. You keep your chin down so that you don't eat punches right in the face.
Now, if you can remember through your concussions and ear damage and
I've only
such,
ever had one concussion.
I'm proud. I hope you had a lovely night's sleep that night.
I did, and then I woke up blind the next day.
Nice. Hope you got a freezy to fix that problem.
It wasn't even after a fight that I got the concussion. It was like my black belt grading. I got kicked in the head by
Black
my
belt?
partner by
You're
accident.
like going out there to fight people, man.
You're like, "Hey, I'm
yeah,
black
I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna charge you like this, and I'm gonna get my black belt. Yeah, I could fight you for no. You're like charging people. Like you just
No.
you're at the line at the store, like fuck you, and you're like charging people.
No, that's not at all what it's like.
And
I
me,
like-
I don't aim for the head. I go for the dick. That's 99% dick. You have any
Well,
dick
you go for the
scars?
dick in different situations.
That's true. I always go for the dick, as at least three of
Always
my.
the dick.
No.
I always try and punch you in the dick. That's always. I think that's way worse.
That's the down.
Yeah, the funny thing about that is that actually hitting someone in the dick, like, it hurts, but it's different when you're in a fight. Like, you get hit in the dick when you're in a fight, and then you just get madder.
Yeah.
Well, are you talking difference between getting hit in the dick and getting hit in the testicles?
They're both of them,
dick?
same thing.
Oh no, because it's a little different. Because if someone
Yeah.
hits you in the dick when you're fighting, it's a little different than someone hitting you in the testicles. That means they're aiming and like it's out. So you're like, come on, fuck you, punch you in the dick. Like,
You're doing this?
yeah, you have to,
It's like a tiny speed bag.
yeah, you're like,
Here's your dick.
yeah, fuck your dick. So why are you getting in these fights anyway? Like, we're gonna psychoanalyze these.
Well, I've boxed
Well, video
and
games.
done karate since I was 5 years old because my grandfather raised me, and he's from the East
okay,
Coast.
so-
And there's
so-
only two sports acceptable: hockey and fighting.
Well,
I'm no good at hockey.
We're from the
so-
East Coast, and we don't play hockey or fight people.
Well, he's from New Brunswick, East Coast of
Oh,
Canada.
he's from New Brunswick. Oh,
I'm
my
Canadian.
mistake. That makes perfect sense. Oh, Canada, East
Yeah.
Coast. That makes more sense. In
Yeah.
America, we have laws
Shut up. We have laws too.
and real sports like StarCraft.
That's Korean. What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry. So,
Win, win, win.
America's not good at any esports. I would know. I used to compete in Counter-Strike.
ew, you just call it e-sport?
Yeah, it's called esports, electronic sports.
It's in the game.
So, all right. So all these fights were more sparring matches. They're not actual like.
No, they're actually like set up matches,
I thought
in
you
a
got
ring
to, like, a fight.
with a
'Cause
fight
that's
against
like-
another dude.
That's because I was
Like in
wondering.
high school fights?
No, the few times I've been in fights, like street fights, have been in high school, and it's been like a dude punches me in the face, and I kind of look at him like this, and then
Just punches you in the face like fuck you. Take that. I hate your mustache.
one day I was downtown on Canada Day.
In high school.
He's sitting there twirling it like this, like, and someone's like, "Fuck that shit!"
I used-
and just punches him.
I've grown a mustache a few times. I did grow one in high school, but everyone said it was really shitty. But it was pretty much like this. Everyone's just like, "Your mustache is shitty." And I was like, whatever.
Jealous.
Exactly. They're just mad. But I was at
Justin's always
downtown
jealous.
on Canada Day, which is like the same as the 4th of July, basically, for Canada. Except that we
Jerks.
didn't have to be violent to declare independence. And
Understand.
a dude that I, like an acquaintance, I guess, someone who I had a class with, is just like, "Yo, Mexico!" Because people called me Mexico for fucking no reason at all in high school. And he punched me in the face when I turned around. And I just kind of looked at him. And I was like, "What the why did you punch me in the face?" And he punches me in the face
Zimbabwe.
again. And I'm still just kind of looking at him. Because people don't know how to punch. So,
You punch through things.
yeah.
So let's
And then I just punched him in the face once, and he like fell on the ground. I was
What's wrong,
like,
Justin?
okay.
I'd
So you
like
wanna
to
move on?
I'd like to consolidate. So your grandfather, who's from the East Coast, New Brunswick of Canada, wanted you to get into a sport, not an e-sport, a sports sport, and you chose sparring, karate, boxing, that sort of thing, Krav Maga. And
Well-
you did so in high school, where you grew the shittiest mustache, to where they would call you Mexico, probably because of your
No.
spit stash.
People called me Mexico because my family lives in Mexico.
Oh, that's right.
But I don't live there.
No, you live in Canada.
Yeah.
You bypassed America completely.
Well, I was born in Canada, and my family moved to Mexico to exploit them. So that's
Okay,
very
so-
American.
Your awful family went to Mexico to exploit them. So they started calling you Mexico in retribution, and they decided to fight you for their independence on Canada Day, mind you. And they punched you twice in the face, but you were so brazen and bolstered by your, what's the word, crimes. Your crime against Mexico, that you took the punches, and then you punched him, and he fell down. And then from that day on, your mustache grew 3 times its size.
Justin, behind you. Behind you, Justin.
Shit!
No,
Watch
people
out.
Shit!
people only started
Shit!
Hate you.
You.
People
We got
only
it.
started harassing me and starting to try to fight me once they realized I actually fought, because like I skipped a
Oh.
huge chunk of school to go compete in
Krav
the
Maga.
Wait,
the
so-
FSKA World Championships, which would have been
SNK?
that would have been in November, but then I won, then I went to Japan,
Champion.
and so I was gone for like 3 months.
So they were like, "Hey, you know how to fight. I'm gonna beat you up."
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
That's like the fights I get into on the internet. They're
Yeah.
like, "Wow, you're super smart and you're an asshole. Well, I'm an asshole too, and I'm gonna take you on." And then they get their asses beat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Red, beat the red, beat the
All right,
red.
so
But
what's-
because I'm like registered, I don't have a right to self-defense, so I have to wait a while before I'm allowed to punch them back.
I'm registered too. I can't be within 1,000 feet of a school.
wait. Are your fists registered? Like weapons?
Well, they're not. You can't like register your fists. There's not like a serial number for them. But yeah, that's the idea.
Justice in the American way. Like, what do you? So, Mexico. What's next on the agenda?
We were gonna talk about why video games are shitty now,
Wow.
because
Well, I think
we talked about that a bit though.
They're
So,
not all-
do you want to talk about the new consoles?
what do I want to talk about?
The new consoles,
A
What's
boot?
that?
the
Yeah.
Xbox One and the PS4.
We were making fun of your accent.
I don't say a boot. I don't under. I said
You
about.
just said it.
You just said it.
Oh,
You
did
said,
you hear
you
him
said
say
a
that?
boot.
I said
Yep.
a boot because you said a boot, not because.
No, you said
No.
a boot
No,
first.
you said a boot.
Brian, it's recorded. You can't deny it.
Yeah.
Canadians say about. You.
No, they don't. They go a boot.
No, that's fucking newfies
I was
who
hanging
no
out.
one in Canada can even understand.
I was talking to Fraser Agar when we were at PAX East, and after he kept saying a boot all the time, and instead of saying what, he would go eh. So he'd be like, I'd say something, he couldn't hear me, he'd go eh, and I go, stop that. That is now a pet peeve. You can't say it. And then he kept saying it. Good story.
I say A as like a greeting, like instead of hi, it's like A.
Yeah, that threw me off for the longest time.
Yeah, he didn't know that Canadians say A, so I was like,
No,
A, and he's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Oh, whoa!
Gay. Gay.
No, because it looks like like you don't know what you're trying to say. And I'm like,
Oh, sure.
Whatever. I don't need this crap.
This is why there'll never be world peace. So,
Because
So
the
I don't care about
Canadians.
So we're gonna talk about consoles, I guess, or we're gonna talk about Canada some more.
we're talking about games in general.
We'll talk about game. Well, the consoles I don't care about unless the PS3 is or PS. Sorry, I lost count on my PlayStations. The PS4 is. I still call the PS3 PS2 for some reason all the time. But the PS4 I will not buy unless it is completely, fully backwards compatible.
Well, they've already confirmed that that's never going to be the case because that doesn't make any sense. Actually, it's impossible from an architecture standpoint. Like, if someone who is actually developing a game and has
See this
worked
face?
in computers, like, that can't happen.
It's my sad face.
You'll be pleased to know that Nintendo's currently making a game with the creator of Panzer Dragoon.
Ooh.
That's supposed to be a lot like Panzer Dragoon, but not called Panzer Dragoon.
Well, I know Xbox was doing that.
Yeah, because Xbox is doing that as well. That's why it's not called Panzer Dragoon.
Okay. Cool.
I think Xbox is just called, like, Crimson Dragon.
Yeah, it looked cool. I like it in E3 when they showed it and then there was no audio. That was pretty cool. That's one thing that I saw when we went to E3 together. That's what we went to E3.
I think the PS4 is my system of choice.
That's my system.
Just having a PC, but it's only for, PS4 exclusives and making it a Netflix and putting Netflix on it. But I doubt I'll get it at launch because that never works out ever, especially in the last console war where they built the consoles with planned obsolescence. So you had fucking, Red Rings of Death and whatever, and just PS3s that the soldering would break and you can't play your PS2 games on it anymore, shit like that. So,
yeah, and what's the point in buying one at launch because there's no games for it?
And
all the games that are launching on the Xbox One and the PS4, and we've talked about this a bajillion times on this podcast, are coming out like a month earlier for current gen.
Yeah, current gen, and even like GTA 5, where they're like, we're just not building on the PS4 yet. Fuck that shit. So there's no point, and if they're not backwards compatible.
Yeah, and even last gen, the games that you bought that were current gen, that were right at the end, that came out on both last gen and current gen consoles, they weren't backwards compatible with those games.
Yeah, but it's okay.
But
I can just rebuy everything from the PlayStation Network.
EA was talking about this week with Battlefield 4 that you're going to be able to like transfer your stats from current gen systems to next gen systems because they plan on selling you the game twice.
Yeah,
because it comes out a month earlier than the new consoles.
If the PS4 did something, if the PS4 did this, I think it'd be really cool. Maybe, even though they will never do this, if you put in, like, let's say your Crash Bandicoot 2 disc for the PS1, it will download the digital copy, and then you can play it in the virtual store. But they never do that. I mean, the games are coded, and they're all individually coded in the whatever, but they're just trying to milk everyone. It's fucking bullshit.
Milk in my Cocoa Puffs. Milky, milky Cocoa Puffs.
And honestly, the PS4 would probably be all about DRM and all this, like, super bullshit like the Xbox was if they didn't see all the flack that Xbox got for their launch. They probably changed it all overnight. Like, can't do that anymore.
To be honest, I'm disappointed that Microsoft changed their policies because they essentially told the world that we're doing the first all-digital console and then totally backed off from it.
Microsoft sucks.
They're a pretty good employer.
They should get into a handheld.
No, they shouldn't.
What PlayStation should do is never made a fucking PSP and made a goddamn PS3 that was fully backwards compatible and not been stupid assholes.
PS Vita.
And someone needs to hack the 3DS, so I'll get an XL.
It got hacked a couple months ago. What are you talking about?
It's not hacked. You can't get a card for it. You have to play 3DS games.
No, there's a card already for it.
Yeah,
There's a card for it.
There's a card for it, but you can't play 3DS ROMs on it yet.
Yeah, you can.
You're on crack. Show me. Show me!
I've
Didn't
read
they
about
just-
it a lot on V. I can't tell you what card
Stop
it is.
talking
'cause I
about
don't
V
know.
like it's a thing.
It is a... Well, it's a website.
What you said.
Are
It's
you
a
talking V
website.
like 4chan/V? Is that what you're
Yeah,
talking
that's
about?
the one I'm talking about.
Okay. I didn't know if there was like, what's V? I'm going to V.com.
I don't know what V.com is, but I mean, like on
It's nothing.
4chan.org/V, that's a website. Then
I'm glad that's your news source. Fucking V. The V talked about us once. It wasn't pretty.
It's all right.
They were in our favor. I think, who were we? Oh, it was against the Total Biscuit thing.
it would have definitely been that because those guys don't
Total
like Total Biscuit.
I imagine. All my friends at
Keep
V.
calling him Hibiscus.
Biscus? Total Biscus?
Triscuit.
Triscuit.
Freezy.
Total Triscuit.
Triscuit Viscus?
Triscuit.
Viscous Triscuit. Viscous semen.
Look at me, I'm British. Do 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 do.
I'm from a country that's not America. Blah blah
Oh,
blah.
la 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 la. I'm allowed to be an asshole. Oh, la 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 la.
Okay, so do you want to go into more about why you hate the current consoles? Or, I mean, the next-gen consoles?
What's next?
Actually, why don't you want to have you looked at the Wii U? Do you have any interest in it at all? Because out of all the consoles,
I mean,
it's like the only one that I have any interest in almost, but it's because I like Monster Hunter, so.
Sure.
it's just a more enhanced Wii, you know. It's just like
Yeah, but it's
Whatever.
not games.
Yeah, but a PlayStation
games.
more. But a PS3 is a more advanced PS2.
But
Like you can't
basically,
really.
There's not like
Anything-
a whole lot of innovation.
Yeah.
right now,
Exactly.
anything good that's coming out for the Wii U is also coming out for the 3DS, like Monster Hunter, like Smash Brothers. There's gonna
I'm
be
excited
there's
about
Yeah,
Zelda
but they're
game.
totally different
Yeah.
versions of Smash Bros. Apparently. Same thing with
Yeah.
Sonic Lost Worlds. Those games don't even look the same on console and on 3DS. They don't even play the same. Then you have a game like Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem, which
Sure.
is coming out next year from Atlas and Nintendo. That's only Wii U. New Mario Kart's only Wii U. There's a game called X that has giant robots that fight giant monsters. It's open world and RPG-like. That looks insane. And then Wonderful 101, which also looks great. It's the only console that has any games on it that's actually coming out, at least this year.
The
They have
computer.
like 20,
Ironic.
except for the PC. The Wii U has 21 exclusives in the next 12 months. And that's not the case with any other system. At least not AAA exclusives.
Well, the PS4.
Although I have a card, it's a AAA card,
Yeah.
and I don't
You get
know
a
if they
flat
have
tire.
If you get a flat tire, they come and fix your car. It's called AAA.
I think the PS4 looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like the look of it. But you know, just like you said, with just we were talking about Skyrim and stuff, and how they made games easier for mass appeal and such like that. You know, I think there's more problems in the gaming world than that, like the planned obsolescence with the consoles, like I was saying, with the Red Rings of Death and all that other bullshit, with the DLC crap, the DRM stuff. It's just, I
Well,
don't
the
know.
disappointing thing about DLC is that it's not inherently bad. There's some of it that's actually good DLC.
No, I'm
a
fine
lot
with
of it's
DLC.
shit though, because
But when-
like it just sucks that we've gotten rid of expansion packs completely, and then put in a ton of shitty DLC. Because like the idea was that ideally you would release DLC that's essentially an expansion pack, but smaller and priced accordingly. But it would be the same quality of content. Not the same amount, but the same quality. But you don't get that. You get reskins.
I hate all that bullshit like Mass Effect, where it's like $3 to buy these new weapons that are even stronger. Like, ugh.
Or Mass Effect, where it's like, pay $15 to get core storyline fucking DLC and characters.
like the Citadel, yeah. stuff
Not the Citadel. Day one, they had DLC for a Promethean party member.
Oh, Javik, yeah, and he was awesome as shit. I'm glad I got to play
Those
it.
Boomba Rapers.
Those Bombacata Rapers.
Yeah, and he's basically storyline mandatory, so
Boy.
it's like pay $15 so you can
Put a Jamaican on your team.
yes, put a Jamaican on your team.
I killed Jacob in the second game. Even though I had his loyalty crest, I sent Jacob into the vents. I think you know why.
Oh my god.
What?
No.
He volunteered. I don't want to hear it.
The favorite part is when Total Biscuit said the N-word before we started. Right?
Yeah,
Did
he
he
was
say
saying-
that?
He was
Yeah.
saying some messed up stuff
Yeah. That was great.
before the podcast.
Yeah. He's like, I hate the gays. That's what he said.
I hate the
I
gays
hate
too.
those black folks. That's what he-
So, modern day. I don't know if I hate more: modern day gaming or modern day gamers.
gamers.
But I hate
Gamers,
everything.
without a doubt, because
We can all agree.
yeah, it's got to be
Josh
gamers,
should
Justin.
Really come up with a decision here. I think it's gamers.
I think one of the major reasons why I definitely stopped playing console games, because at the beginning of the generation, I had a 360, but I also played like an equal amount of PC stuff, was definitely just the people who play the games.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it's become worse on PC over the last few years because the consoles have gotten so shit that everyone picked up a PC, including magical
I'll build my own
14-year-olds.
PC, like kind of thing. Yeah.
It's not that they just picked up the PC. It's just that graphics haven't changed. Like, for example, I'm using a graphics card that's 5 years old, and I'm still playing Skyrim and shit. Whereas if a parent buys a new Dell or Alienware or whatever, laptop or whatever, the modern day games like Valve games, they can play them. So now you have kids hopping into those kind of things too. So
Yeah,
now they're
I
all
know.
playing Team Fortress.
And it kind of killed Counter-Strike for me to a degree.
Yeah,
'cause
I
it
don't
was
even feel
definitely,
like playing global whatever.
Global Offensive. I like it mechanically. I think it's better than Source, but
Yeah, that's not better than Source, but
it's better than Source. The recoil
It's not better than
Guys should
1.6.
fight.
Idiot.
It's better than 1.6 because it has better
Faggot.
graphics and they improved the recoil. The reason why it's better than Source is because they made it more like 1.6.
Oh, they improved the recoil.
they
He's got you
The
there.
recoil and spread patterns are better, you fat fuck.
they constantly.
Red patterns.
He's not even.
Yeah. Whoa.
They're constantly changing that shit though, so it's not like it's a set in stone game. Anyways, it's constantly like they buff the deagle, nerf the deagle.
Yeah, but they
Like
buff
every
it.
other
They
week.
don't buff it based on
So
community
let
feedback.
Tyler
They
have his
buff
own
it.
opinion. He's talked the least out of all of us.
I'm,
I don't.
There's a
let him
lamp.
talk.
My word's final on this.
I was gonna say they don't buff it based on community opinion, but they buff it based off of like professional feedback, as in people who play it competitively.
I always
which
like
I think
No, go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Tyler.
I think it's kind of bullshit they do that though, because like it's not just a competitive game, because even like gun game servers were the highlight for me for Source, like, and that whole community's just dissolved. So I think they should try to cater more towards that, because that's where I think Source just fucking blew up.
Well, it all started with TF2, definitely, when they switched to server matchmaking instead of server
And-
browsers. So
and
you don't even
free-to-play.
have communities anymore. One of the
Right.
worst parts about so when I started playing PC games, I was probably like 4 years old, so it would have been like 1996. But basically, the year 2000, you get there, and then you have multiplayer games. Like, they're all of a sudden more viable. There's lots of them. The games like Counter-Strike, basically.
Mhm.
And they all had a server browser. So you had to go and like log onto a server, and you would you'd spend maybe 15-20 minutes trying to find a server that had enough people in it, that was on a map that you liked, that was playing a game type that you liked, that was in your region. But once you found it, you always played on that server, and you played
Yeah.
it with the same people over and over and over again. So you actually made like you actually made friendships basically over the internet. There was a sense of community around that server, because the same 50 people a week would play on that server all of the time. But now you just have matchmaking, and it's like, well, let's play with some Randys, because I can just jump in and play.
Oh,
And
Randy.
then, yeah. And then you just jump in, play, and it made it so accessible that people are now they're not important to the game. Because, like, you don't like it takes 10 seconds to jump into a server, you don't like the people playing, you disconnect, jump into another one.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point. The community's been lost from modern gaming, and the industry doesn't care as long as people are still buying them, which is a new generation of people that never understood that. So they're just all these cursing, entitled, asshole, shithead 12-year-olds that hop in the games, curse people out, and leave.
Even with stuff like, you look at like World of Warcraft and MMOs, I think the worst... Did you ever play any MMOs like WoW or anything back in the day?
I played WoW for like a year or so, back when it started.
So, back when WoW started, it was good because you had to find people to play with. It's the same thing I'm basically talking about now. The reason why WoW was good back then was because you couldn't do everything by yourself. So you had to find people, and once you found people that you liked, you would always play with them. You go do dungeons or quests or raids or whatever. But now, I can hit level cap and literally queue for a fucking raid.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be a guild-only experience. And so it's like everything's so accessible in MMOs. Like, the removal of community from modern games has basically killed modern games for me. I used to play tons of Counter-Strike back in the day. I played probably like 2 hours a day because it was basically when I got to hang out with my friends. I would jump onto the server, everyone would be there, and we'd play for a few hours. And then I would jump on a World of Warcraft for like an hour or two because I would jump on, everyone would be on, we'd go do a dungeon or something. There's no community left, though. There's no way that I can do that.
And
so it's just like game to game to game, and I never meet anyone. There's no community in any game now.
And not just that, you can't play with the kids in high school because they're punching you in the face. So what are you going to do?
I know, those fucking assholes.
I know, like, for me, like, when Counter-Strike kind of got a little old, I was playing in all the jailbreak servers and all, like, the still community-driven stuff. And then that eventually fell through when people just stopped playing. Like, everyone started playing console games and Battlefield and all that shit. And then, for example, me and Jared's friend Kevin, who we hate, he fucking sucks.
I hate him.
Yeah, he's black. He was playing... he's not black.
He's worse.
He used to play Final Fantasy 11 on the PC. And he actually met a girlfriend on there and then started dating her in real life.
Wait,
like,
what?
It was like a whole thing. Yeah, you didn't know about that?
No.
Oh, that's a whole thing.
I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah. I'm still friends on Facebook with the girl's bird, even though they all broke up and stuff. It's good.
You're friends with her bird?
I guess it worked out, huh?
It was all worth it.
My favorite thing...
That bird's a lasting friendship. That's going to last forever. Right until you die.
And I talked to Justin about it. I think we were talking about it the other day. Was playing Halo when Halo first came out and playing that on the PC and then modding the crap out of it. It was already when Halo was already old. And modding the crap out of it, and then turning like the turrets into like tank shells and stuff like that, where you shoot 3 tank shells at a time, and like blowing people away. It was so much fun.
I think when it comes,
and then getting my entire team onto a tank, and then driving the tank off a cliff while jumping out of it. That was pretty fun too. So that's stuff I like.
I think it comes down to like that experience that you're talking about, Ryan. Like you can only get that through like really big Steam groups, like. The Video Game Awesomes have their Turbo Club that has like a real tight knit group.
Turbo.
Or the movie with Ryan Gosling Reynolds. Yeah. And then Ryan Gosling. And then the modding community is still pretty big. Like all the guys who did all that Skyrim stuff, you know? Like those are the only 2 things that are left aside from going to LAN parties or conventions to try and meet kind of people. But
LAN parties is pretty much the end.
The thing is,
all there is left, and there's not many of them either, though anymore.
Yeah,
I know. Like, I think I run probably the most frequent LAN party on the island, I help run it. I live on an island.
It sounds like you live on Alcatraz.
I live on an island, but it's gigantic. So people are like, "You live on an island." In fact, one time, a truck driver, like a guy who delivers stuff in a giant semi-truck, asked me where Vancouver Island was, and I was like, dude, you're on it. Like, he came over, he thought it was like a tiny little island, but the island's huge.
I'm on it.
I was like, dude, you're on the island, and he's like, oh, God.
Oh, it's like an inception.
Get me out of here.
Australia is an island, a prison island, just like Alcatraz or Vancouver.
Well, Vancouver Island's not a prison island. It's actually is the capital of our province, or at least the city that I live in on Vancouver Island is the capital of the province. There's like 3 cities on this island. So it's a big city, or I mean, big island.
Sim City.
I'm drinking a lot of scotch.
So I think the final statement is, I think a lot of those communities and stuff are kind of still there, but since they got, because of just population boom and more people getting into nerdy stuff and whatever, now everything's so saturated with people and players and blah 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 blah.
No, Justin.
You lost that. Yeah, good.
Video games are still an underground commodity.
Just like 4chan and fucking.
It's still an underground market, like the black market, where you buy all the kaiju.
The Jews.
The kaiju bone. Was it the kaiju
Dust.
bone dust?
It makes your
For
dick
male
big.
potency. It's a joke he won't get because he hasn't seen the movie.
It
That's
doesn't matter.
okay.
Doesn't matter.
So
Next topic.
Next topic. We're done.
That's all I got.
Oh shit! All right, goodbye.
So, do you guys want to play Magica now? I want to play
Okay.
Magica.
I'll play it. Wait, I can't play it.
So how do we play that? Are we doing it through Skype and then?
We'll turn off our cameras and just play the game, and I'll record it all basically because everyone's on one screen in that game. So I guess what I'll do is we'll do this whole sign-off thing where I outro the podcast and say that we're over, and then we'll play the game.
Okay.
Also, Jarrett, I apologize for not picking a game that works on Macs. So
Okay, I'm just a big old hipster Mac guy because I had to get a Mac for school. But now I'm a big old hipster because I have a Mac.
Chipster.
why don't you dual boot it with Windows?
Why don't I just like the interface better than a PC interface? Is that okay? Is that okay for me? Like, can I do that? Can I like?
But then you get the best of both worlds.
I could.
Because you just like put 20 gigs aside for Windows and.
I need a new computer anyway, so it's getting old.
Well,
but
let's outro this thing. So,
Okay.
Thank you, Justin and Jarrett, for coming
thanks for having
on.
us.
Thanks. You're welcome. Thanks, guys, for coming on the podcast. This has been the 24th episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast for the week of July 28th. And we'll see you guys next week.